When I moved to America, there was a lot of words that I would say in Swedish because I didn't know them in English yet that were like the worst swear words in English that you could imagine. And obviously I learned this the hard way by just outright saying them, hoping for the best, that people would understand what I was trying to say, and it just never worked. The amount of times I was sent to the principal's office was truly insane, to the point where like the principal knew like, oh, okay, he said something Swedish. My mom would get these calls every single day, and they'd have to like, obviously speaking Swedish, there wasn't like any teachers on site who spoke Swedish, so they would always just be calling my mom like, what is he trying to say? Like, what does your son want? This happened a lot, so there's a lot of different words that are literally swear words in English but are not swear words in Swedish. So I'm gonna start with the worst one. Growing up, I always hated the crust on anything, whether it was pizza, whether it was like a sandwich. I just did not want it, which I feel like is fair. But when I went to the school over in America, they had this weird policy. You would tell the lunch ladies in the beginning of the day what you wanted, and this way they wouldn't make too much of any foods and they wouldn't waste as much food, which is actually kind of a good concept. Well, me being foreign and still learning English at the time, I very much hated crust, like I said, and I didn't know how to express this because it was pizza day. And I was like trying to figure it out, but I couldn't. So I literally looked at the lunch ladies and said, I don't like cunt. Girly, still true. They were like, excuse me? What did you just say to me? And very confidently responded, yeah, I don't like cunt. Can you take the cunt off? Instantly, they were like, go to the principal's office. You cannot be saying that. Very confused, I go to the principal's office. And this was the very first time I went to the principal's office for something like this. And so no one could figure out what I didn't want. Like, they had no idea what I was trying to tell them. Called my mom, they're like, listen, your son is saying some very atrocious things to the lunch ladies. And my mom starts laughing and says, that means crust in Swedish. So in Swedish, it's kanten. Jag gillar inte kanten. There's different ways to say it. So I tried to abbreviate it thinking that was like the American version. Almost the same, right? No, they did not understand. And the worst part was like, this didn't stick for me. Even though I got in trouble, like it did not stick. So I kept saying this to the point where the lunch ladies kind of just like, you know what? I like mine. And also they just totally knew what I meant. So they would cut off the crust. And yeah, that's how it went. It's also one of my favorite jokes that like before I even knew how to speak English, I was already telling people that like how gay I was by saying I don't like cunt. Like that still holds true today.